Good morning, Joseph. Ayo, Mr. Daniel, say morning. EBS, Elizabeth, Madam Manaji, Farouk, John Egan, Momodu Bola, good morning. Okere Precious, good morning to everyone. All right, so let's start. So today is Wednesday, the 13th of November, 2024. We're having a morning analysis, and earlier on in the morning, let's say late in the night, Nigerian time, 1:30 a.m., there was a wage price index, from Australia. That news was released. Morning, Mr. Danielson and Bilal. So we don't have any news for this morning session, no news event. So we just look at the technicals. But then in the afternoon by 2:30 p.m., there will be the CPI, the core CPI monthly, and the CPI yearly from the United States. And honestly, that is a major event for this week. And we are going to be trading CPI live by today by 2:30 p.m. As in the news will come up by 2:30 p.m., but they will be live for analysis before the news by 2:15 p.m. So please, let's take notes. We're trading live. We're making money live this afternoon. So if you're here to fund your account, you can still do that this morning. Just reach out to your account manager. They'll furnish you with the account details so that you can fund and get prepared to trade live with us this afternoon. Christmas is around the corner. You need to start making money for the festive period. So don't miss this opportunity this afternoon to trade live with PU Prime. We have experienced analysts who will guide you through. We're going to be posting signal for this session. For those who have not joined us, it's good to have the experience today. We'll give you the entry price, the take profit, and the stop loss. Then we'll wait for the news to come up. And I tell you, we usually have a high winning rate with live trading. We do 2 live trading sessions in the month. We do for NFP and CPI. NFP means non-farm payroll. It talks about employment in the United States. We had it last 2 Fridays, and today we're having the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. So join us by 2:15 p.m. as we trade this event live. All right, more people are joining. So let's look at what we have today. Like I said, we don't have any fundamental event this morning, so we just go over straight to the technicals. Now, we should not forget this news in the afternoon is focused on the dollar. So we expect some volatility on the dollar pairs due to this expected news event. Now, for this morning session, we really don't have much instruments to look at, but then the ones that are getting ripe for a trade, I will surely show them to us and we can plan. I'll be looking at just 3 instruments. I'll look at crude oil. That's the USO, is labeled USO USD on our platform. All right, so this is crude oil on the daily time frame, and we can clearly see that price is trading, or price rather hit a support level yesterday. The candle for yesterday closed on this very strong support level on the daily time frame. So if we flip down to 4-hour, on 4-hour, we can see that this is trying to form a double bottom pattern. That's what it's looking like, which will lead to a bullish breakout. But then focus is the 1-hour. We go down to the 1-hour time frame, and this is what we can see. It still looks like, it's trying to form a double bottom, which will lead to a bullish breakout. So we can still also go a step further by drawing our trend line. If you remember vividly yesterday when I was analyzing this instrument, I remember telling us that, we have a descending trend line right here. And this candle that touched the trend line the third time is a rejection candle. That 2 things will happen. Either price breaks out downwards, or if it breaks above the recent high of that candle, we will see a bullish break. I clearly mentioned that yesterday. And for yesterday, price broke the lower part of that candle, and I said that it's going to go straight down to the support level, and that is what has happened. So today we're expecting now the bullish breakout on this instrument. Now, currently we can see that price has broken out of the upper trend line. Price has broken out of it, but RSI is still below 50, so we cannot trigger a trade now. We need to wait for price to clearly, break out. Sorry, for RSI to be clearly above 50. And there will be two instances of opportunities to trigger a buy trade on this instrument. One is if price breaks out above this current minor zone. RSI is currently on 48. So if price breaks out above this place, yes, I believe at that point it's possible for the RSI to be clearly above 50. But the most important part of entry, or the most important place that we should put our entry, is when price breaks out above this region, which is the neckline. What we're seeing is actually a double bottom pattern. And the rule for double bottom is that we trigger our entry when price crosses above the neckline. When price crosses above the neckline, that can be the point where we can trigger our entry. So if price breaks out above this entry, this is a neckline, then we can trigger a buy, a bullish trade on the US oil. That's USOUSD. Now, I'll drop a signal on this. We just put a buy stop at the tip of the candle. At that shadow up there, we can have a buy stop order just on that level, so that as price breaks out, it will trigger us into a trade. Now, this is very subjective because today is a CPI. We don't know whether there'll be volatility this morning or not. Because many times when you have some of these major dollar-based events, the market can just be a bit quiet, pending the release of the data. But nonetheless, we'll still drop what we see, and we'll wait for it to gradually evolve in the market. So we're bullish on the US oil. And secondly, we're bearish on, now this US oil is a 1 hour trade, so it's purely an intraday setup. Secondly, we are bearish on BTC. We're bearish on BTC. Why are we bearish on BTC? Now, if you go to the weekly time frame, I remember showing us this one yesterday. I told you that I was putting my trend line exactly on the tip of these candles. And this is the tip of the recent candle for this week. That's the highest point. And all of them align on this trend line, as price is making a series of higher highs and higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then the next position is the higher low. Now, I'm not suggesting in any way that, the bull run is over. No, it could just be a retracement, but then from what I'm seeing technically, we should have some movement, some bearish movement on BTC, because this region now is going to act as a kind of a resistance that will lead to a decline in price. And that's on the weekly time frame. If you go down to the daily, you will see that yesterday candle actually closed as a rejection candle, which also could mean we will have some minor reversal or minor retracement. And finally, 4 hour. Now you can see it clearer on 4 hour that is now evolving into a double top pattern. You can see the candle still touching that resistance level, but the lower part is a double top. And when you see a double top pattern, it signifies a bearish potential. And this is it on 1 hour. Now it's clear that we have a double top pattern, which will trigger some bearish movement. So this area is the neckline. So once a new candle breaks out below that neckline, you should see a bearish movement on BTC USD. You might as well place a sell stop order at the tip right here while we anticipate the breakout. So we're bearish on BTC USD on 1 hour. And the third instrument I will look at today is the AUD card. Now, both the AUD card and the AUD USD, they both have the same outlook. But I'll do the AUD card first. All right, so this is the AUD card. On the weekly time frame, you can see we have a rising wedge pattern, but then I'll remove the upper trend line. Let's leave the lower one. Now, on the lower side, you can see that price is making a series of higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and price got again. So technically, we should be expecting, a bullish continuation. We have an uptrend right there. If you flip down to the daily, you clearly see that there was a rejection candle here. Now, whenever you have rejection candles touching a trend line or a resistance, it means there is a potential for a reversal. Even though when the price touched, when we have the rejection candle, price went up, came down, but then upon coming down, you can clearly see that the candle for yesterday ended up still closing around a support zone, which includes this previous rejection candle. So we have an uptrend and a support. Technically, that is telling us we should look for a possible bullish movement on AUD CAD. So we flip it down to 4-hour. This is what we're seeing on 4-hour. And I remember, I didn't talk about this. It was, I think, the AUD USD. This is giving us an inverse head and shoulder, which will eventually lead to a bullish breakout. And if you take it down to 1 hour, what we are seeing at the moment, we are also currently seeing the formation of an inverse head and shoulder on 1 hour. At least before the major swing on 4-hour, there should be some movement on 1 hour. So if this works out fine, we should be looking at an entry above this neckline region. So this potentially is forming an inverse head and shoulder, and we expect a breakout. So I'm bullish on the AUD CAD on 1 hour. Now for the dollar pairs, if you observe, I've not mentioned any reason because we have CPI later in the afternoon. Now we still do proper analysis. And the truth is that most of them may not move this morning because of the CPI in the afternoon. So there's really no point, burning energy on them. So let's just wait for the afternoon. All right, so I think I'll just stop there. So this morning I've analyzed 3 instruments. I've analyzed the crude oil, where I said we're bullish on 1 hour. The BTC, we're bearish on 1 hour. And the AUD CAD, we're bullish on 1 hour. So that's what we're given this morning. And I said I'll give you a signal for the crude oil. So I'll do that right now. So for crude oil, you should have a buy stop buy stop at 69.215. Take profit. You can look at Fibonacci 50 as our take profit level. So that would be 70.426. And our stop loss $67.788. Now, when you have a signal, you should also note that while a trade is running, when it's running in profit, you can as well always do what is called a trailing stop. Don't just leave your trade. Say, oh, but I've been given the signal. See, nobody controls the market. It will get there by itself. Nobody controls the market. When the trade is already in profit, some 20 pips, 15, 20 pips upward, always learn to do a trailing stop by shifting your stop loss to break even to lock in profits. It's very important. All right, so that's the signal I have for you. A buy stop order on crude oil. Okay, and now before I attend to the request I'm saying, I also want to give an update. I remember during the analysis yesterday, I told us in the afternoon I was given a setup for Euro GBP that I expected a bullish movement on Euro GBP. I don't know if you remember when I said that this was going to evolve into an inverse head and shoulder. This is Euro GBP on 1 hour. That will evolve into an inverse head and shoulder, and we should look at taking entry at the break of the neckline. And that has happened just in line with the analysis. Euro GBP has gone up as high as about 34 pips, after the analysis yesterday, as until later yesterday evening, it really went up in line with the analysis. And during the analysis again yesterday, I remember telling us about GBP CHF that I was seeing a double top pattern on 4-hour time frame, which I expect to break out downwards, and that equally has happened in line with the analysis. This is 16 hours yesterday. So as I went at the analysis yesterday, let me go down to 1 hour price. Yeah, price was just somewhere around here. This is the neckline region. Price was just hanging around this region that time, and the price broke out. And you can see there was a drop to the tune of about 60 pips. So please, I will give this setup. Let's utilize them to our advantage. So we've given 3 this morning again. We've given US oil, we've given BTC, and we've given AED card. Please, a word of caution: if you're to trade BTC USD, trade with a lot of caution, with proper risk management, because it's an extremely volatile financial instrument. If you're a newbie and you don't know anything about BTC, please just stay out, so that you don't put your account at risk. And if you're trading it, like I said, trade with proper risk management. Don't take any unnecessary risk. It's not worth it. If you have been trading it before, fine, go ahead, because I believe you already know your way around it. All right, so let's look at the requests we have here.
Sorry, good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma.
Please, I'm just joining because I think the time keep conflicting. It's either it's 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, so we don't even know which one to stick by. So on the BTC, are we buying or selling, please? I'm just joining now.
Okay, we are not selling immediately. We have only analyzed. We have a double top pattern. We are waiting for price to break out below the second line here at, below 8626. 8626.20 is only when a new candle opens below it. That is when you have to sell.
We'll sell.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And secondly, for the timing is 7 a.m. But you see, sometimes we may have some technical issues. That's why it looks like it may change. But the standard time for morning analysis is 7 a.m.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let me attend to the other requests here. We have gold and CAD CHF. So let's look at those two. And let me just educate us a little on this. There's a slight difference between an analysis and a signal. An analysis is what points you in the direction of the market, the potential direction of the market. A signal is when you are given specifics: buy at this price, take profits here, stop loss here. So when someone is analyzing, and definitely before you take a trade, there must be analysis. Otherwise, somebody just give you signal. Signal is not going to help you. Analysis is what will help you to become an independent trader, because you now know how how even signal is generated. So when we're analyzing, we're showing the potential direction that, okay, because of this and so and so reasons, this is the potential direction the market is expected to go. But then that you've analyzed does not mean that it's time to trigger a trade, because if certain parameters are not yet met, it may not yet be time. So, but the analysis is already pointing you in the direction of where the market is expected to go. But a signal is when you're given specifics: buy, stop, take profits, stop loss. That is a signal. So I want us to be clear on that. So, but this session is actually an analysis session, morning analysis. That's why it's called analysis. But during the course of the analysis, we do give signals when we see them. Otherwise, we just give you a hint on what is expected to happen, because we may still have to wait for certain parameters to be met, for the trade to be triggered. So I hope I've explained that. So for gold, now I remember telling us clearly yesterday that if gold breaks below, that was even on Monday, if it breaks below this zone, we will expect a sell. And that has happened in line with the analysis that was given. Now, this is what I'm seeing on gold now. Gold is now trading around this support on the daily time frame, and it seems not to be breaking that support level yet. Now, if price cannot break this support level, then the next thing I think will happen is that gold might proceed on a bullish movement. In a big picture, it may also mean that gold may evolve into a head and shoulder and lead to a drop. But that's on a bigger picture. Let's leave that out. If we would take what we're seeing now with the support here, then we may just expect some kind of a retracement on gold. But see, I will advise you not to bother about trading gold now because there's going to be news in the afternoon, which is CPI. That's what's going to determine the movement of gold for today. So if the news comes out bad for the dollar, that is, the dollar goes in the bearish direction, then gold will go bullish. Reason because gold is negatively correlated to the dollar, meaning that if the dollar is buying, gold will be selling. If the dollar is selling, gold will be buying. So if the news comes out bad for the dollar in the afternoon, then that will support what we are seeing technically on gold, which should be a bullish movement. But on the other hand, if the news comes out good for the dollar, that is, the dollar is buying, then if there's sufficient volatility on gold, price will break this support level and continue going downwards. So currently, gold is just in between a buy and a sell, depending on the outcome of the CPI in the afternoon. So that's my outlook on gold. So I would say just be patient with gold. Let's wait for what happens in the news later in the afternoon. Then for CAD CHF for EBS. All right, so this is CAD CHF. This has been my weekly outlook, on this instrument. You can see I've gotten my trend lines drawn, even from the monthly time frame. We we have a confluence here, which is expected to lead to a long-term bullish break, a descending trend line, price making some lower lows here, and a falling wedge also, which is expected to lead to a long-term bullish breakout on CAD CHF. And currently, we can see that price is trying to move up, and this is forming a double bottom on the weekly time frame, which may lead to a long-term bullish breakout. And if you go down to the daily, this is where we are on the daily time frame. Now, if you go back to that weekly time frame, we can as well put our neckline for double bottom right here. That's where we have the neckline. It's a perfect one. So it means our price is actually testing the neckline currently. It's not breaking above yet, at least on the weekly time frame. So let's go down lower to daily, to 4 hour. On 4 hour, you can see that price is just ranging around that zone. So if price breaks out above this region now, then we should get ready for a long-term bullish breakout on CAD CHF. Otherwise, if the volatility is not strong enough to push price up, we may have some retracement. Let's go down to 1 hour. Because on the 1 hour now, it's looking like we're having a shoulder ahead. It's not too clear though. We may have some retracement if there is no sufficient volatility to push price above that neckline. So this is what will happen on the 1 hour. We have a trend line there. We have another one here. At least if the head and shoulder is not clear, we can see there's a clear rising wedge pattern. So if price cannot break out above this zone, I expect some decline. But take note, it's going to be short term. It's going to be a short term movement, if it's going to be a sell. Otherwise, if price breaks above this zone on the 4 hour, then that means that the double bottom on the weekly will be triggered and we'll see a very long-term bullish movement on CAD CHF. And this is this from the weekly. At least price will target this trend line from the weekly time frame. If it doesn't break it, well, it may reverse backward, but at least should be the target. And that target should be some, let's check, it should be some, okay, some about 90 pips away. But if price is able to break above that level, then it's going to trigger a long-term, massive bullish movement on CAD CHF that can lead to, let me check with my Fibonacci tool, that can lead to as much as about 500 pips to Fibonacci 50, 570 pips to Fibonacci 50, and about 770 pips to Fibonacci 61.8. That definitely will go beyond this year if that happens. But that's what I'm seeing technically. I'm seeing a double bottom on the weekly. Can't completely ignore it. More so when we have a confluence of price heading in the bullish direction on this zone, right from the monthly trend line to the weekly falling wedge. So this is really getting ready for a long-term bullish movement. But like I said, if it does not evolve now, we can still look for an opportunity to sell on 1 hour as a very short-term trade. All right, so that's my view on CAD CHF. Which other one do we have? Gold, CAD CHF, New Zealand CHF. I'll attend to that now. You're welcome, EBS. If the news, Sonny Chooks, if the CPI news favors the dollar, what do you think will happen? Will it buy? Yes, now. If it favors the dollar, it will buy now. And if it does not favor the dollar, it will sell. This is CPI. It's where is the outcome of the data that determines the direction. It's CPI. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, it will buy. If it comes out bad for the dollar, it will sell. All right, so I'll look at New Zealand CHF and I think we'll stop there. This one has been on a kind of range for some time. But then looking at it on the weekly time frame, you can see that we have a descending trend line and we are seeing some series of lower highs, and this is the current candle for this week. It depends. If price cannot break that level, we should see some reversal. Let's go down to the daily, so 4 hour. But please, I want you to know that most of these CHFPS sometimes you can see the candle structure, they can kind of spike. So trade them with a lot of caution. For this one, there might be an opportunity to sell from what I'm seeing on the weekly. You know, it's descending. You have the trend line descending. Though on a closer look, I think I've analyzed both of them, as in both the CAD CHF and the New Zealand CHF at some time. We have this descending trend line also, just like we have on the CAD CHF. And this actually is a reversal pattern. I won't call it an inverse head and shoulder, more like a kind of a double bottom, which can trigger a long-term bullish breakout. So even though we have this candle looking like a rejection candle, the thing there is this: if price breaks out above this trend line, we'll see a bullish movement. If it breaks out above, and if it does not break out above, it breaks out below, it will be a bearish movement. So this guy is actually in a critical zone. A breakout above this current zone will mean we're looking for an opportunity to buy. And a breakout below this zone here means we're looking for an opportunity to sell. So between these two zones, it's possible price may still go up so that this becomes a triple top or like an head and shoulder for a sell, very possible. Or price may just break up outrightly above, you know, that region up there. But most importantly, what we're looking at now is this: we're price is trapped between these two zones. A breakout above this zone is a buy, and a breakout below is a sell. So that's my outlook on New Zealand CHF. Yes, thank you, EBS. Said thank you very much. You mentioned digit 30 yesterday, and it's playing out perfectly. Exactly. Just follow the lead. Yeah, this digit 30. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why it still skipped my mind. For DJ 30, I think I still looked at it this morning. I don't know why I didn't. It surely escaped my mind. You can see we have a rising wedge on the weekly time frame. But the critical part beside the rising wedge is the fact that we have a psychological level right here at 44000. That's a very, very critical level. And if you zoom down to daily time frame, but most importantly, the 4 hour. Now, this 4 hour, like I said yesterday, that is going to sell. It's now evolving properly into a head and shoulder. There might be some retracement back to that psychological level, then a final drop. That's what I see may likely happen to this DG30. So we're still on a bearish one on the DG30. You're welcome, Bolaji Sonny. All right, so that's going to be all this morning. For those who are just joining us, don't forget 2:15, the daylight saving is on. 2:15 p.m. this afternoon, join us live as we trade the CPI. It's a fundamental event. We're going to be trading live. Make sure you have a funded account because we're going to be making money. No demo. We're making money by 2:15 p.m. And don't also forget that from tomorrow, we're having our boot camp session. So if you are very busy, you are not chanced, or you are, or most importantly, you're not living around Lagos and Abuja where we have our offices, and because of that, you cannot attend our physical trading session, then don't miss this boot camp. Boot camp is a time where we compress our training, into just a few days so that we can give you a crash course on how to trade the Forex market. We're starting tomorrow. It's going to run for 4 days. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we round it up on Sunday. It's going to be in the evenings. The link will be dropped in your WhatsApp group. So make sure you check that group to get the link and join us, for this boot camp session. All right. Again, tomorrow, we still have our physical training tomorrow. You live in Abuja or Lagos, join us. Our Abuja office is at 50 AB2 Okiwe Street, Jabi, Abuja. And our Lagos office is at 54B Adeniyi Jones Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos. You can join us for these training sessions to upgrade your skills on how to trade the Forex market. Alden, where is possible take profit for BTC? All right, let's look briefly at that as we close. That honestly, that one is a bit tricky, to be sincere with you, because this instrument has been on a massive bullish break for quite some time. I don't want to just say some random things here, but to be on the safe side, to be very safe, I think we may just look at this next minor support, resistance on support level here. That may be safe. But most importantly, what I would advise you do, which I mentioned earlier, once your trade is in some reasonable profits, always learn to lock in your profit, by shifting your stop loss to break even. It's very important. Don't say, oh, but they said it will get to this point. My brother, nobody controls the market. Too. Markets react based on the forces of demand and supply. So if you enter into a sell trade on BTC and it moves reasonable level, shift your stop loss to break even. It moves again, shift your stop loss, keep locking in till eventually it gets to the profit level. And if it does not get to the profit level, it drops a little, you have locked in some profit here, and price decides to retrace. The worst that will happen is that it will close your trade, or you'll have locked in some profit. That is still very much okay. So, like I said, technically, you can just target this zone at 81691.80. You can target that because I don't want to bother myself with Fibonacci, because the most recent low for me to use Fibonacci is actually here. And that's the support level to use. And to be honest, I can't guarantee that price will fall from 90,000. I can't guarantee that price will fall from 90,000 to 60,000. I can't give you that assurance. Sorry, if you're looking at Fibonacci, that means it will drop from 90,000 to 78,000. Honestly, I can't give such guarantees. I can't. The market, we should not forget the fact that Trump is in power now, and we'll see a lot of volatility, not just on the BTC, across many of these instruments, across indices. Trump administration is known that when he's in power, there's a lot of volatility in the market. And besides, because Trump has already made a promise to adopt BTC as a legal tender in the US, BTC may be buying for a very long time to come. It already hit close to 90,000. I mean, it may hit the 100,000 that's been projected for a long time in a short while and possibly even surpass it. So it's going to be a long-term bullish movement on BTC. So whatever I'm saying now, I mentioned it earlier, it should be taken as a short-term retracement, after which price is expected, to continue going its bullish movement. So because the fundamental outlook rather for BTC is bullish for now. So anything you're seeing now is just a minor retracement. So please take it as such and don't stay too long on it. All right, so that'll be all for this morning session. We'll see again in the afternoon when we take the live session for CPI. All right, bye-bye, and have a great day.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye. Have a great day.
You too, man.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. That's very nice, sir.
You too, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Mr. Biodun, good morning.